Hello everybody, I'm Jay Crippen. I'm Assistant Chief with the Carbondale Fire Department, and with everybody sheltering in place and not able to come do tours at the fire station, we thought maybe we could bring the fire station to you guys through Facebook and talk about the things that go on in the fire department and some fire safety. So come on inside and join us. Our training room is much like you guys' classroom. It's where we continue working on making sure our skills are good and continuing education for the fire service. So while we're here in the training room, I want to point out a couple of things. With you guys being at home and probably doing a lot of schoolwork on the computers, trying to communicate with your teachers and keep your education stuff going throughout the schools, we want to point out some fire safety hazards. One of the things that we want to avoid doing is using an extension cord to plug things like laptops in. We definitely want to make sure that there's no knots in the cord. These generate heat and can cause a fire. And if you don't need an extension cord, we need to unplug it and not use it. And anytime we leave a device that's plugged into an extension cord, we need to unplug that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take you from the training room now, and we'll show you the bedrooms. We'll go walk down the hallway this way. So because we spend so much time here, 24 hours a shift, at Station 2 here, we have our own bedrooms that we share with the other shifts. Each person has a bunk and a cabinet to keep their clothes in. We spend 24 hours here, and then we go home for 48 hours. And then we come back and do it again. So we have to have a place to rest since we're here for such a long shift. And while we're in here, I want to remind people a little bit of fire safety. When you're charging your cell phone and laying in bed, talking on the phone, or maybe texting friends, that we don't want to put the cord and charge your phone underneath a pillow, because that gets so hot it could cause not only a fire, it could cause a burn injury to you.
How's it going? My name is Matt Wozniak. I'm a firefighter here at Carbondale Fire Department. I'm going to go over some of the stuff in the kitchen as well as our living room that we have at the firehouse here, because like Assistant Chief Crippen said, this is our home away from home. We work 1 out of 3 days. We're here 24/48. So this is our living room and kitchen. We spend some time here when we're not on calls. We eat breakfast, we eat lunch, we eat dinner together just like a family. People will always ask, why do we have so many pantry closets and so many refrigerators? Well, there's 3 shifts. So each shift has their own pantry with their own food goods in it, as well as each refrigerator for each shift. We'll walk over to the stove and the sink area, and we'll go over some fire prevention tips while we're all at home sheltering in place. That way we can stay safe while we're cooking. Some of the things we want to look at is we want to make sure we have nothing combustible, no dry material near an open flame or a heat source. So we want to make sure all that stuff stays far away from the flame. That way we don't catch nothing on fire. Another thing we want to make sure we're doing while we're cooking is having all our handles turned inwards. We don't want any toddler to be pulling on the handle, or you walking by and you knock that handle off the stove and you'll splash hot liquid or hot food onto a toddler or even yourself and get a serious burn. We always want to make sure stuff's covered, and whenever we are cooking, we don't want to leave it unattended. We also want to make sure we have an ABC extinguisher, and that's marked by the 3 pictures on the extinguisher, or it'll have a big ABC. This means we can use it on combustible material, liquids, as well as electrical fires. Basically a good household extinguisher. However, we need to make sure that you're trained to use one, and prior to using one, you call 911. We want to make sure we have working smoke detectors in our homes, 1 on each floor, 1 in every bedroom, and in the common areas. We need to make sure they work by testing them every month, as well as changing batteries every 6 months. From here, we're going to go to the workout room, and then we'll go into the emergency operations center of the fire station. This is one of the most important rooms in the firehouse. We all need to make sure we're physically strong and able to do this job efficiently and fast. So we do spend a lot of time in here and our allotted time to work out and make sure we're able to perform our duties to the best of our capability. From here, we'll go into the EOC, and you can follow me.
So the Carbondale Fire Department here on Glenview has the City of Carbondale's Emergency Operations Center inside of it. So come on inside and we'll show you a few things. Typically, the Emergency Operations Center is used for any disaster that's a citywide response beyond just the fire department. Things like the derecho from 2009, all the way to severe weather where we have to sound the storm sirens for tornadoes or things like that. Right now, we're monitoring all the COVID-19 response and the day-to-day operations and all the information we get that comes into here, and then we disseminate it out.
So if you ever visit the firehouse, you'll see our gear next to the fire truck. It's not because we're messy, it's actually because we're ready to go. We have our boots in our pants for quick access, as well as our coat and our microphone hanging from the side of the truck so we can easily put it on. And then in the seats, you'll notice that we have our air packs ready to go like a backpack. So as we're going to the emergency, we can put our air packs on. So now we're gonna go over putting our gear on and explaining what the gear does for us. Firefighter Dave here is gonna practice putting his gear on, and we'll explain what each part of the gear does. So he's going to go ahead and take off his station shoes and slip his feet right into his safety boots. From there, his pants come right on up because we're ready to go from the ready position. Those boots have metal plates that protect not only his toes but at the bottom of his feet, as well as fire-resistant material to protect from burns. His pants are a ripstop material with reflective striping on the bottom so we can see one another during a fire in the smoke conditions. From there, he's putting on his Nomex hood, which helps protect his ears, hair, and neck from burns. He puts on his radio strap for communications. Next thing, he's going to put on his bunker coat, which again is made out of that fire-resistant material, also ripstop with reflective striping, so we can see one another, and we can also identify him with his name on the back of that coat. From there, he's going to put on his SCBA cylinder, or his air pack we call it. This is just like a backpack that you carry your books in. However, we carry our air with us so we can breathe. He'll adjust his straps. Now these are also planted in our truck, so whenever we're going to the call, that air pack's already in the seat and we just put it on as we're en route. Following putting on his SCBA or his air pack, he's going to go ahead and don his face piece. It's important to know that underneath that face piece, it's still Firefighter Dave. He's still a friendly firefighter, and the face piece may change the way he looks. We want to make sure no one's scared of him. If we're ever in an emergency, we want to make sure people come to us and not hide from us. This face piece acts as a respirator as well as protects his face and his eyes, gives him eye protection. After his face piece is on, he's going to go ahead and put that Nomex hood on, which protects his hair and his ears. From there, he's going to put on his helmet. That helmet protects his head from falling debris. He'll tighten the chin strap. Next thing, he's putting on his gloves, protect his hands. Gives him dexterity in a fire. And finally, he will clip on air, which then gives him a self-contained breathing apparatus from the air bottle that he carries to his respirator, and he is now self-contained and he can work in an emergency situation.
Thanks for coming and visiting us here at the Carbondale Fire Department. We hope you enjoyed your virtual tour. We hope to be able to get tours going again soon once all the COVID-19 shelter in place dies down. We appreciate it. We want to give a shout out to the Carbondale Police Department, and we want to challenge them to show you guys what their police station looks like. So until we get a chance to see you, have a good day.
Garage is opening. Gonna start her up. It's gonna get a little loud. Get our seatbelts on. Prepare to go code.